What's up, guys? It's SHWHY. We're here on another edition of 10 and 60 with Mr. Coleton Rubin. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Why don't you tell everybody where you're from?
I'm from LA. I'm from the Valley. And yeah.
Right on. I'm actually going to ask you this question because you're holding a stuffed animal right now. So do you still sleep with a stuffed animal?
Yeah, but like, no, I don't know. My girlfriend and I just love stuffed animals. We have like a bunch just lying around the house.
Oh, yeah.
We got this guy right here.
What are their names?
This is just Dino, and this is Petey.
Okay.
They just be lying around the house. But sleep with them, not in the summer. It gets too hot.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody needs to have a stuffed animal.
Yeah, man.
It's a piece of childhood.
Oh, absolutely.
I used to have Beanie Babies, and I don't know what happened to them. I moved a lot when I was younger, and it, to this day, it just like devastates me.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder where my old ones went.
I have this. I actually just shot an episode with this dude who has like literally hundreds of Beanie Babies, and he somehow has all the tags still on the Beanie Baby. I'm like, bro, that's like 20 years. He's
yeah,
like, dude,
that's sick.
I love them. Anyways, let's see. What is your biggest musical influence?
Oof. Or who or what?
Who?
I guess if I had to go, I'll give you a couple. If we're going childhood, John Mayer for sure. But I'm a huge Passion Pit fan. Massive Passion Pit fan.
Passion Pit's amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I think John Mayer is I think he is the greatest guitarist alive today.
Yeah. No,
right
yeah,
now.
for sure.
Maybe not of all time, but like alive today,
Yeah.
I think so. What was your very first memory?
Dude, that's a crazy question. That's I'll answer honestly. Honestly. My very first memory was my parents fighting.
Okay.
It's like a thing I like. It's like a running joke in my family. It's like the thing. It's like what I remember my first thing being.
There it is.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite smell?
Dude, good question. Holy shit. Yeah, for sure. It's gotta be, I grew up, my mom's side of the family is Italian, so like I can smell from a mile away like fresh cooked like an Italian meal. So I guess like basil.
Okay.
Like basil's a really strong, like
right on.
Love that smell for sure.
Yeah, dude, during COVID, my brother, he like loved planning like just a bunch of shit.
Right.
And when you have like that fresh basil or oregano or whatever, it's just, bro,
Makes a difference for sure.
It's amazing. And I also feel like if I had to like eat one thing the rest of my life, it'd be just any type of pasta dish.
Yeah. Also, one of my favorite smells is like garlic cooking in oil.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I do a lot of cooking, so like that's.
I've been coming up on the cooking too, bro. It's so much better than like ordering or going out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Actually, not really digression, but I discovered if you like slice garlic very, very thin and then kind of like fry it in some olive oil and then make it into these like crisps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Huge.
Bro, so good.
Huge.
But if you burn garlic, it's bueno. Like, it fucks everything up.
No bueno, yeah.
Anyways, shout out Italian food, bro.
For real.
Do you have a favorite word?
Not necessarily, but I can tell you I could tell you that for some reason for a long time I hated the word meal. It like made me queasy every time I say it, and I actually mean that. Like my friend would say it, and it just like I hated that word a lot for some reason growing up.
Fuck meals. Do you have a favorite emotion?
Yeah, I do. That's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that question before. I guess I'll answer that in two parts. One is I feel most comfortable when I'm like a bit maybe sad looking back on things, but I think that it's something I try not to do as much anymore. But I guess I love to feel, I guess a favorite emotion. So that's like my most comfortable state, but I guess I've been trying to feel more uncomfortable. So I guess like that.
To feel more?
Yeah, I've been trying to feel more uncomfortable because I think that, I guess that's how you grow, right?
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like perfectly said, honestly. Like, the only way to grow is to put yourself in those situations where you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then that's where the real growth happens.
For sure.
What is the weirdest fact that you know off the top of your head?
Oof. That's an interesting question.
Somebody flipped it on me the other day, and I was like, bro, I actually can't even tell you.
Yeah, it's tough. Give me a second though. I think I've always said this, like I guess when I was a kid, like I was so focused on like music, I missed out on like pretty much learning anything else. And so like I have a lack of knowledge about like a lot of cultural things.
Okay.
But I remember one time when I was in high school, my friends, remember that old app like Uber Facts or whatever?
Uber Facts.
I could be botching that name, but like I remember seeing apparently a true fact that like your kitchen sink is dirtier than your toilet.
Wow. I believe it though.
Yeah, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I mean at the time I remember it being true.
Bro, I actually just saw a thing. Oh yeah, Uber Facts. Yeah. It was a Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a Twitter, big Twitter account as well.
Dude, I was just seeing something that they're saying that if you don't wash your your pillowcases like once a week, it has more bacteria than your toilet seat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is wild.
I've seen that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I guess that's a random fact that I remember.
All right, there you go. Yeah, I feel like also the brain does weird shit. Like when you really care about something, it like tends to just box everything else out. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people that are kind of like savant in one thing tend to have that like problem where like they're just kind of not even oblivious, but just they're just so focused on what they care about.
I think when I was young, like when I was like a teenager, I was pretty much unable to care about anything other than like what I like was doing. So I think that led me to like maybe not know as many facts as I should.
No, it's all good. Also, slight digression too, but I feel like that's also like for the kids that like don't want to maybe quote unquote don't do well in school or like aren't as in it. I feel like that's like where we fail our youth the most is like not being able to like tap that and be like, no, actually you're like really dope here. Like
I think also the society and the world that we live in doesn't necessarily give kids not necessarily the opportunity, but culturally it's not centered around the fact that you can maybe go for your dream or do this or whatever and also care about and also do well in school or do well in math or history or whatever. I think it's very because of the I guess kind of the negative outlook on like someone who's doing something different, you kind of get X'd out from not only wanting to do something else, but like feeling like you're able to care about math but also be a musician or whatever. It's like very kind of one or the other. I feel like at least that's what it felt like for me.
No, 100%. I think like the societal norms of just like life is just like shit.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely,
think so many people put too much pressure on that like it prevents a lot of creativity and just like realness from happening.
Oh, absolutely.
If you catch my drift. Cool. Well, this kind of segues me into my next question. What's your biggest dream?
I have two. My whole life it's always been music. Always. But I think the older that I get, the more I realize that like a family is extremely important to me. Extremely important.
Totally.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I don't think I grew up with like the most tight-knit family, so I think that's an important thing for me to make sure I'm keeping my relationships in check and being as real as I can with the people at home and
Totally.
and yeah, you know, being a good boyfriend and person and trying to do self work to be able to sustain that part of my life.
That's great. I love that. What would you say your best trait is?
You know, I was actually asked this last week. It's funny. I think that since I was a kid, I've always kept as humble as possible. I've always kept good people in my life.
Totally.
I've had the same friends since I was like 11 years old. And I think that I've always had just like friendships and that have sustained, you know, and stood the test of time. And I think I subconsciously, I pick good people because I don't think sometimes we can really help the people that we like or want to hang out with or want to date or want to this or that. I think I've had some really good people in my life.
That's great.
For sure.
I think that just comes from also being like an authentic and like real person. You know?
I guess so. Yeah. I guess
because I feel like a lot of times just like this, like the phone, social media, like prevents so much real like people interaction. If you know what I mean. Like,
and there's that saying too where it's like you are who your friends are.
Totally.
And like
you're a product of who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely. So. Yeah.
Right on, bro. Relationships are very key. Let's see. What would you say your biggest insecurity is?
I think because my dream of music is so prevalent and so strong and has been for so long, I think that I find so many things wrong with what I do in it, and how good I am or not good I am or whatever, more than anything else, because it's so real and so important to me. So I think I don't see myself as talented as maybe somebody else who can zoom out around me can. Like I don't see the things that I'm doing in music right now. I feel like this past year has been or at least 2023 has been, I've hit a very some good luck, we'll say, and I think the people around me are way more like you're doing it than I am, because it's hard for me to see it that way, because I don't see myself as necessarily the most talented person or the most skillful person or whatever. Because from my perspective though, all I can see is genuinely just like when I look in the mirror, it's just literally just like the same kid who was like skipping school to like learn new John Mayer songs. Like I don't see anything other than that. So to see, I guess, that kid do things that I guess are somewhat, successful or somewhat this or whatever, I think it's hard for me to look at it that way. So I think the insecurity would be like how
you perceive yourself.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I was getting at for sure.
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of artists struggle with that like internal just conflict, because when you're so close to something that you create, it's very hard to like kind of step out. Especially like if you have people that are close to you who are telling you certain things and you don't know if it's maybe just them trying to be nice or whatnot. But like I feel like a lot of artists really have that like I don't know if it's a perfectionism or what it is, but it's just this constant like internal battle.
I can tell you what I think it is. At least I think that this art is just really an extension of us, and it's an extension of myself. And when I put something out into the world,
it's not yours anymore.
It's not mine anymore. And not only is it not mine anymore, but if it's not liked, it feels like I'm not liked. And if he or she or they put something out that's not liked, it feels like they're not liked. And I think I tend to feel like that. I talk about that a lot. It's something I'm trying to work on, where I feel very like, I think I'm my biggest hurdle. So I think
Totally.
it's just, you know, I feel not liked if what I make is not liked, because it's not the same thing as like people in my family who clock in at a job and maybe they didn't do well. Maybe their boss isn't happy with them that day. Maybe they won't feel great about it, but like this affects my whole world. It affects my whole perception of myself when like my work isn't taken well or seriously or whatever. And it's something I'm really, really, really actively working on. But
I hear you, bro. And like, I think one thing too that's also just helped me is like, if I ever feel like that too sometimes, whether it's a photo I put out or a video, whatever it is, like I have to look back and remember like how it made me feel when I created it and like, you know, had that for myself. And just remind yourself also, like, because there's so many mean people out there, and also so many people that like don't have I think the hardest thing in this world is to create something, right?
Yeah.
So like the people that can sit out there and like be rude to others or say mean shit or say this sucks or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do that.
I think,
especially if you're not a creator.
Right.
So
to be honest with you, going back to what we were just talking about before I forget when, but like part of the thing inside of me that's like maybe feels like maybe like the insecurity of my perception of myself is partly, I guess, at least in my experience, where like there was so much negativity when I first started doing this. Before I ever made a dime, whatever, there was so much negativity, like family and you know, some friends and just like the side eye and like the, oh, you're doing that. It's like when you're already an insecure kid, that doesn't feel great to feel like you're not doing, but you have to, you know, just persevere and go through that. But at the same time, it sticks with you even when you do have some sort of, I guess, I don't know, some sort of success or whatever. It sticks with you. That those things stick with you, you know. I'm not someone who likes to prove people wrong.
Right.
I'm not like that. I just don't want people to just talk bad about it in the first place, I guess.
No, I know.
You know?
And that's something that like no one will ever be able to control.
Yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
a shitty
Exactly.
thing.
Of course, yeah.
So, right on. Love it. And then last question. If there was one thing that you had learned, whether it was about yourself, about a loved one, about the world, whatever it may be, from the pandemic, and you've now kind of like taken that into your everyday life, what would that be?
Good question. Give me a second. I learned that I'm substantially better at being alone than most of the people I know. To be honest with you, like obviously when you zoom out on the larger scale, like I was, you know, going out hanging with friends way more than obviously before COVID than I was during, but my life honestly wasn't that much different other than the fear and like I've always been extremely introverted, extremely. It's like caused issues in my like past relationships, my life, like whatever. So like, I think that I didn't really know that people don't like to be alone. Like I think in concept I knew, you know, but I don't think I knew really that like I had friends who were like, I'm like literally going to go insane. And that I never felt that. I honestly, of course, always like, oh, I want to see my friends, or I want to see this person or that person. But I always felt very comfortable just kind of like hanging out. I find a lot of energy by myself.
Love that.
Extreme
Yeah, I mean, I feel like also too, like I myself as well just kind of need that alone time, need to like recharge and just like be able to like be with my thoughts. And
I take a lot of recharging time. Like lot.
100%.
Yeah. Like I just went on a vacation like with my family, and like my family only my sister lives in LA, but my other family lives elsewhere in California, and we got together and like I like need like hours to recharge after like a couple hours. Like I'm just very like I like to be alone.
Yeah.
I like to hang out.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, with my girlfriend and just like
lay
low.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just hang out, and yeah, I don't get too much energy from people.
And
really.
some people really can like suck your energy too.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know the term energy vampire.
Yeah.
It's like it's a very. But you know what's funny? I do love to watch like I love reality TV, and all those people are energy vampires. They're all extrovert people. Like, so I do enjoy watching that from I guess the bubble of introverted energy or whatever. So yeah.
Right
I
on.
think that's in a long answer what I picked up.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, that is all, and I hope you enjoyed another edition of 10 and 60 with Mr. Coleton Rubin.
Thank you.
Yee-hoo!
Thank you.